Hi everybody, Mag here, and we're not in the shave den. We're down here in the kitchen just because I wanted to spread out the razors that I had purchased or acquired through my 6 months or so journey on wet shaving, and I wanted to share those with you today. So I have them all laid out in front of me. I'll talk about each one, and then at the end I'll do a close-up of all the razors for you. But before I get started, I do want to tell everybody that when you are making the jump to doing double-edged shaving, you're going to have to allow some time for your skin to build up or become accustomed to the double-edged shaving. It's just like when you started shaving with a cartridge razor or with an electric razor. It takes time to get used to it. Your hair starts to get used to the blade that's cutting it or the mechanism that you're using. So don't get discouraged. But you want to make sure that you get something reasonably priced. You want to shop around and watch some videos on YouTube or what have you, maybe even this video. And you want to get something that's inexpensive yet can do the job, just to see if it's something that you'd like to invest time and money into down the road. Maybe you just buy one razor and 2 soaps and off you go. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I can tell you, getting into DE wet shaving, you're going to want more than one razor because you're going to want a little variety once you start getting used to it. And it puts fun back into shaving. It doesn't have to be that same boring routine. You have to take a little bit more care because you can't, zip like a cartridge razor. You're going to have to allow just a bit more time. So it's not a 5-second shave. You could still use a cartridge razor. I still do once in a while. You can go back and forth between the two, and it's not going to hurt your skin becoming accustomed to a different blade, cutting it or anything like that. So it's also, with a DE blade, it's a single blade. They call it double edge because it's on both sides of the razor, but it's actually a single blade. Some cartridge razors out there, even some more advanced razors, you can have more than one blade, which kind of cuts the hair, lifts, cuts, lifts, cuts. You don't have to do as many passes. That's why they talk about multiple passes in DE wet shaving, because you have a single blade and you're not going to cut the hair as deep as you want it to go on the first pass. So they talk about BBS, or baby bottom smooth shaving, and that's what they mean after they do a few different passes and maybe even a touch-up. You'll see some guys talk about touch-ups. Because there's still a little bit of hair growth in a particular area. So depending on which way the hair is growing on your face, depends on which direction the blade needs to travel in order to do the touch-up. Clip the hair and get it nice and smooth. So make sure that you allow yourself some time. Make sure that you get a decent product that is at the price point you want. Make sure that you get a good blade. Now, there's sharp blades. Well, they're all sharp, but there's some that are sharper than others. So I would suggest starting out mild. If you have a really thick, coarse beard, a mild may not be the one for you, but certainly you can start with a mild and you will do just fine with it. It may take you more passes to get to a baby bottom smooth shave or get it to a length where you're feeling comfortable with it. So just experiment. And if it's something that you want to do long term, then you can put some money down and get some of the better razors that are out there. I'm going to share with you some really good razors that I think would do well for beginners. And then, some razors that cost a little bit more, not too much more, that should be excellent for you to use long term. So enough about me babbling. Let's start. So when I got into wet shaving, I always try to find a good deal because there's always deals out there to be had. There's different websites and wholesalers. You can go to your local drugstore and you could probably find a couple well-known brands, maybe not top tier, but they don't cost an arm and a leg. So this one was my first one, and this is the Micro Touch. Now, mixed reviews. Some people like it, some people don't. It's a mild razor, and it's a twist to open, a TTO. So what does that mean? Well, there's a knob on the bottom where you can turn it, and it's a butterfly style, and it'll open it up. And there's a a bar in the middle. You just set the blade in the bar and then you close it up. And you don't have to worry about adjusting the head of the razor. It's one distance. You know, every blade is going to be the exact same distance, and the quality of your shave will depend A, on your skill, and B, the blade, and C, the kind of soap that you use. So when I found this in the store, it was on sale, and I think normally this is somewhere around $20 maybe, 25 bucks, something like that. They're still available today. I found mine at Walgreens, which is a pharmacy, or for you guys in the UK, they're called chemists. And mine was discounted. It was around Christmas time of 2018, and I had this for like $14.99 or something. So it was discounted a little bit. So for 15 bucks, I said, hey, you know, I could take a chance and I'll do it. I did some reviews before I went out and I bought it, and I knew it was a mild razor, so I wanted to start mild, and that's what I got. And it came with a stand, so it just sits in there like that, and you don't have to let it sit on your countertop. It gives it a place to go when it's drying, and if you want to hang it up in between passes of the shave, you can do that as well. But it comes with a stand, and it came with blades. So all I really needed to do was get a soap and a brush, and off you go. But I thought that this was a pretty good deal for the price, and I've used it many times in my shaves, and I like it. It's nice and mild, and it basically does wonders with no matter what kind of blade I throw into it. I've shaved with an Astra and a Feather, which are more sharper blades. I've shaved with a Wilkinson sword, different types of Wilkinson swords actually, a Hagen blade, Dorco blades, which this actually came with was a Dorco blade, and it came with 2 10-packs, so I got like 20 blades with it, which was a pretty good deal as well. Blades are pretty inexpensive. You can usually get a pack of 5, and if you buy them loose from a wholesaler site, you know, they range anywhere from $1.50 to $2.50, somewhere in there. You can usually get 5 blades, so they're not real expensive, and you can get multiple shaves out of a blade. How many is up to you. So that's my clock going if you hear that. But the Micro Touch is a pretty good starter razor. The knurling on it is real good. It's not slippery. It's a standard size handle. I have big hands, but I have no problem holding it. It's got pretty good balance to it. So between the head and the tail, it's got some good balance, and it's got some weight. It's not light, airy, you know, like those plastic throwaway ones, and it has a nice learning angle, I'll call it, because you can glide right along the head. When you shave, basically you can put it perpendicular, and then you go up 30 degrees, and then you just go straight down. The hardest part is when you get to the chin to keep the angle correct, and that's just going to take some time and getting used to shaving with a double-edged razor. But the Micro Touch is a great one to start with. My next one I found this in a grocery store called Wegmans, and this is the Hagen, right? Hagen. It's 110 millimeter, and that's the length of the handle. So if I hold this up compared to the Micro Touch, you can see it's a longer handle, and it has similar style knurling, and it's not slippery in the hand. In fact, you know, you can hold it really well if you have bigger hands and you like the longer handles. This also is a twist to open, so you just turn it from the bottom. Sometimes they're called butterfly razors because they have the butterfly flaps. Again, a bar right in the center, and then you just close it down, and it's no adjustable width. It's all the same no matter what blade you put in there. Now, the intriguing thing is no razor shaves the same as any other razor. And for me, the Hagen, at least this one anyway, because they come with a chrome one that's a shorter handle, but this particular brand razor, which is the brass plated one, is a bit aggressive for me. I found it to be more aggressive than any of the other razors that I have. So if I were to shave with the same blade using the Micro Touch and the same blade using this, they're totally different shaves. So it's going to be up to you to try to find something that you like. I don't mind it, even though it's a little more aggressive. I have to just be more careful. I have to be mindful of the blade that I put in it. But the Hagen shaves just fine. In fact, I filmed a video just the other day using it, and there's other videos that are on my channel as well. In fact, you can go back and watch them. This was the second one that I had purchased, and this was in the low 20s, maybe like $21 or something. And I wanted to have a longer handled razor. It's a different razor. Everybody knows Hagen in the shave community. Some like it, some don't. They have blades, they have oils, they have post-shave balms, they have shave soaps, they have shave sets where you can get a brush and a bowl. So the shave soap is good, the blades are good, I use those. The razor is okay, the bowl, the brush, I mean, it's not a bad set to get. In fact, besides getting just something that's affordable for you, you can get a set, which I also highly recommend, that you can pay a little bit more money for, but you get all the equipment that you would need to do a wet shave. And you know, you're not out of pocket a whole bunch of money in case it's not something that you like. The only thing is you're limiting yourself to a particular brush, a particular blade, or a particular razor. So experiment, maybe 1 or 2 different razors just to get a different feel for it, and maybe 1 or 2 different soaps, 1 or 2 different blades. If it's something that you like, you can continue to expand and find something that is a real good pairing. Some blades work in some razors and some don't. It just doesn't feel good to you. So that's up to you to decide if you want to continue on that journey. But the Hagen razor is okay for me. Like I said, a little more aggressive, but my face is now becoming used to it, and my skill is getting better at shaving, so it's not so bad anymore. All right, and then those are the only twist to open ones that I have. Those are the first 2 that I got, and I had them for probably a couple months. And I would shave twice a week, something like that. And it was something that I enjoyed. It wasn't just a task that I had to do anymore. I was actually able to enjoy it. You do have to put a little bit more time into it because you got to whip the lather, you know, and there's the cleanup afterwards. But I do a lot of night shaves because I'm very busy during the day and I don't have the time in the morning. So when I come home from work or late at night before bed, I'll do a quick shave. And I'm able to take my time and relax then, because you don't want to feel rushed. But maybe some people can shave no problem, zip zip, and you're done, and out the door you go. So I knew that it was something that I wanted to stick with, so I graduated into another razor, and this is the Edwin Jagger. So this was the ivory handle, and it's a DE87. That double edge, 87 means it's the ivory handle. There's a DE89, which just indicates it's a chrome handle. There's other types of handles now. In fact, the head is very common on these, so you can pretty much buy a new handle and continue to use the same head. And this is a 3-piece razor. So the handle unscrews from the head, just like this, and it comes apart. Here's the handle. There's threads in the top. And then the top comes apart into 2 pieces. This is the base. This is what goes on the bottom. It has the 3 holes. And this is the head. And what you do is you put the blade onto the head. There's the center post and the 2 guide posts. So if you look at a double-edged blade, there's 3 holes. And it sits on top of here real nice. Has a little bit of wiggle play, but for the most part it's good. And then you take your base and you put it on top, right? And it crushes it between the blade, and then you take your handle and you screw it on. And then you don't have to tighten it down a whole bunch. You screw it all the way in until it's done. Just give it a little snug, and then your blade will line up perfect. And this is a closed comb. You can see the ridges that are on the head here. There's also something that you can get called an open comb, where the ridges are notched out, and it just gives you more blade exposure. Now I don't have an open comb razor. That's something that I'm looking at getting. I'm eyeing one particular one, and I wanted to expand into that and try the open comb. But this was my first 3-piece, and this is a fantastic razor. It's very mild, and it'll accept just about any blade I put in it, whether it's sharp or if it's a mild blade. Every single blade that I have reviewed and shared with you, I have tried in this razor, either on camera or off, and I have no problems with it. And it's a nice, smooth shave. And this was, you know, I have to guess, $25 to $30, somewhere in there. A little bit of a discount. I think I found it online for like 15% off or something like that. But it's definitely quality. It's a step up from the Micro Touch and the Hagen. So this was my first real well-known good razor, I would say. Edwin Jagger is a staple within the community. Everybody knows it. So I'll just bring it closer, and you can see right on the top here, if I get the camera to focus, right, you can see Edwin Jagger. So it's definitely a nice razor. In fact, on the bottom it says Sheffield, England. So I'll see if I can get that to focus for you on the bottom there. So England, right? Sheffield. So it's kind of hard to do this from far away, but definitely a good razor, definitely a good investment. It's a mild razor, so those of you that like the milder razors, certainly go for that. And then this is from a company called Regiment, and this is the standard issue razor. And I did a review of this online, and it was a package that I had got, which came with a soap and blades and a brush, and it was $35 or something like that, somewhere around there. And it was really good. In fact, this is also a 3-piece razor, and the knurling on it is very nice. It's in a gunmetal type finish, and it has some good weight to it. And then again, the base removes from the head, and it's a 3-piece. Now this 3-piece is a little different. It doesn't have the 3 posts, it only has 1. But if I bring it closer to the camera, you'll see that it has notches on the edge, and that also holds the double-edged blade in place. And it's even less wiggle room than the 3 posts that we saw on the Edwin Jagger. And then when you put the head on and then you tighten the handle down and you lock it in place, it's not going to move at all. That blade is in there and ready to go. So this is also a mild razor, and again, it handled every single blade that I can throw into it just fine. And I love shaving with this thing too. So these are 2 really good, I would say, better purchases. If you wanted to step up your game from like the Micro Touch or the Hagen, these wouldn't be a bad way to go. Parker is a good razor as well. In fact, that's what I'm looking at getting. So with this one, I mean, the gunmetal, it's kind of hard to match if you wanted to swap handles, but you could. The threads are just the same, and they're no different than some of the other bases. It's this same dimensions, so I'll prove it to you. Right? Here's the gunmetal head on the Edwin Jagger handle. Okay, so they're definitely interchangeable, and it wasn't bad by itself for the price, but in the kit certainly was a great purchase, and I've had nothing but great shaves with it. In fact, this is the case that it comes with, and inside is a mirror, and there's a spot here to put some blades for travel, and it just sits in the case just like that, and it closes up. So you can certainly take this with you on a travel trip. It's all set to go. You don't have to buy a separate razor pouch or anything like that. So this is definitely worth the buy. In fact, this was part of what attracted it to me. I was looking at getting the soap anyway, so I was like, hey, you know, you're going to give me a razor, a brush, a travel case, blades. It came with blades. So I went for it. And for the $30-some price tag that was on sale, I said, why not? So I definitely am a fan of the Regiment razor. And then the last one that I got is actually called the Q-Shave. And this is an adjustable razor. So what I mean by adjustable is you'll see a notch right here. And you'll see the numbers from like 0.5 all the way to 6.5. Does it go up to 6? Nope, it goes all the way up to 6.5. So it starts at 1 and then it goes every half step. And if you watch the head, in between the base and the head, as I turn the, let me see if I can do this. As I turn it, you can see it getting bigger and bigger. And all it's doing is it's increasing the gap between the blade and the safety bar. And that's what gives you a more aggressive shave. So you can use it in a variety of settings. If you like the milder setting, you can go with a 0.5 or a 1, or you can go halfway and go to 3, or you can go all the way to 6. Depending on the size of your beard growth, if it's coarse and thick, you know, you can decide and have multiple shaves using the same razor. And even though it's a big head, it glides real good. And it's got good weight to it. And this is an early adopter of like the Mercure Future. So if you don't have the money to get a Future, but you want to break into an adjustable razor, and this will give you a shave similar to, not the exact shave, but this will give you a head start. And if it's something that you like, maybe you can look at getting the Mercure Future yourself. Now this is a little different. The sides pop off. So all you do is lift one side, it's spring loaded, and it comes off. So there's 2 guide posts which you can put the razor blade on, and then here is the inside of it. Okay, and all you simply do is there's also a guide right in the middle. I don't know if you can see that part, but there's a guide and 2 posts on it. So all you do is you put this on and you snap it down into place, and then you're good to go. So this is certainly something that I wanted to give a try, and it was an all black razor, which I didn't have, and it was an adjustable, so I have no problems using it. I tried it on a 2, a 3, a 4. I could definitely feel the aggressiveness between the different settings. So, you know, that's up to you to decide on what you wanted to go with. But it came with a stand. So again, you don't have to just put it on the countertop all wet and everything like that. So it has a place to go. In fact, when you're not using it, it also has a leather cover, the Q-Shave. So you can simply slide it in just like this and protect your razor. So it has a notch. It just slides in from the side. And there you go. In fact, if you wanted to travel with it, it protects the head. And you can always keep a blade in there if you so choose, even though I wouldn't recommend it, because as you slide this in and out, the blade may slice the inside of the cover and then it won't be good anymore, but you can certainly do that. Now, the other thing to be mindful of between all the different razors I showed you is what's called the blade overhang. So if you look at the Micro Touch and the Vanderhagen, you'll see that the sides are open. Right? There's space. So when you put a blade in there, there's a little edge that's going to protrude beyond the cover. And when you're shaving, right, you have to make sure that this little piece that sticks out doesn't cut you. So as long as you're at the right angle and you're shaving appropriately, it won't be a problem. But when you handle the razor, that edge will stick out, so you do have to be cautious that it's there. Now, twist to opens That's just the nature of this type of razor, that edge will be exposed. So just be mindful of that. Now when you get to the 3 pieces, the heads are normally longer, so you'll have very little or no overhang. So the Edwin Jagger and the Regiment standard issue, this one there's no overhang at all. This one there's very minuscule overhang, but not enough to worry about. Now the longer the blade, right, the harder sometimes it is to get up underneath the nose. And a lot of people will complain that they can't get tight enough to get the hair that grows up all the way to the bottom of the nose. I have no problems, and I have a big honker, so I'm sure that you guys will do just fine as well. And with the Q-shave, you'll notice that there's covers on the side, right? So there is definitely no overhang here. But with the massive head size, I mean, I have no issues, but it does present some people a problem, especially if you use it on the largest setting where the head is separated the maximum from the base, and you have the most blade exposure. It's hard to sometimes get under the nose. But other than that, too, when you go across the grain under the nose, right, you also have to be aware of that edge, that it doesn't catch the bottom of your nose when you shave like this, or if you're shaving under the lips, it doesn't catch your lip like that. But other than that, these are all great razors. Other than the Hagen, they're all mild. The Q-shave you can turn down and it's mild. In fact, if the Hagen was an adjustable, I would say that this would feel almost like a 3 or a 4 to my face. I mean, I could definitely feel the blade and its aggressiveness. So I'm glad that I have something to compare it to now. I don't know what the open comb is going to feel like, but hopefully I'll be able to get that and try it and review a new razor for you guys soon. So that's it for me. I hope that this was helpful for you, and certainly leave us a thumbs up, and we do appreciate your subscriptions. And leave us a comment and let us know what you think of each one of these razors, maybe something that's in your collection, or something that you would like us to review for you, or maybe something that you got that you'd like to share some comments for all the other viewers that watch this video. So I'm going to say bye for now, and then I'm going to give you guys a close-up of these razors before we stop the video. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next shave.